Plants do not have teeth, muscles, or eyes, but some of them still became hunters. In quiet wetlands on mossy ground and inside tropical forests, certain leaves became traps. They did not become monsters. They became specialists, solving a problem that ordinary roots could not solve. A carnivorous plant is still a plant first. It grows, opens leaves, makes sugars from sunlight, and depends on water and air like any other green organism. What makes it different is one extra strategy. When the soil cannot provide enough nutrients, the plant can borrow them from living prey. Most carnivorous plants live where the ground is wet but poor. Bogs, acidic wetlands, sandy seeps, and washed tropical habitats may hold plenty of water, but very little available nitrogen and phosphorus. In those places, a plant with a normal root system can be surrounded by moisture and still be starving for minerals. That is why insects matter. A fly, a beetle, or a tiny water animal is not food in the animal sense. The plant does not chew it. It traps the body, breaks it down with enzymes or microbes, and absorbs nutrients through the leaf surface. The prey becomes fertilizer delivered directly to the plant. The most famous trap belongs to the Venus flytrap. Each trap is a modified leaf, hinged like a green mouth, but controlled by touch, not hunger. Tiny trigger hairs inside the trap help the plant decide whether something real is moving across the surface. The snap trap is powerful because it is selective. A single touch is usually not enough. The plant waits for repeated signals before it closes, reducing the chance of wasting energy on a raindrop, a falling leaf, or a random vibration. Even a hunter made of leaves must be careful with its energy. Pitcher plants use a different idea. Instead of moving fast, they build a vertical pitfall. The pitcher is a rolled or hollowed leaf shaped into a container. Around the rim, nectar, color, scent, and slippery surfaces can guide insects toward an opening that is much easier to enter than to escape. Inside many pitchers, fluid waits below. Some pitchers produce digestive liquid. Others rely partly on bacteria and small organisms living inside the trap. The result is not a stomach, but a tiny chemical basin where trapped prey slowly becomes dissolved nutrients. Sundews turn patience into glue. Their leaves carry bright tentacles tipped with shining droplets. The drops look like dew, but they are sticky secretions. When a small insect lands, it can become held in place while nearby tentacles slowly bend toward the prey. Sticky traps are not dramatic like a snap, but they are highly effective. A sundew does not need to chase. It only needs to wait in a place where small insects travel. The plant turns sunlight, color, and glitter into a quiet trap spread across the ground. Underwater, bladderworts use one of the fastest traps in the plant world. Their tiny bladders pump water out and hold negative pressure inside. When a small animal touches the trigger hairs, the door opens and water rushes in, carrying the prey with it. The bladderwort trap is so small that the drama is almost invisible to the human eye. Yet in a pond or wet soil, it can capture microscopic animals, larvae, and other tiny life. It shows that carnivory in plants is not always about big insects. Sometimes the hunt is microscopic. There are also stranger traps, like lobster pot traps in corkscrew plants. These guide tiny organisms inward through narrow passages lined in ways that make turning back difficult. It is a trap based on direction, not speed, and it proves that plant carnivory has evolved many solutions. But none of these plants stopped using sunlight. Carnivory supplements photosynthesis. It does not replace it. The leaves still capture light and carbon dioxide to build sugars. The trapped insects mostly provide minerals, especially nitrogen, that the poor habitat cannot easily supply. That balance explains why traps are expensive. Moving leaves, making sticky droplets, producing digestive fluids, and building pitchers all cost energy. Carnivorous plants survive when the nutrient reward is worth the cost. In richer soil, the same strategy can become unnecessary or even inefficient. Flowers create another challenge. A carnivorous plant needs pollinators. but it also catches insects. Many species reduce that conflict by keeping flowers away from traps. A flower may rise high above the sticky leaves or pitchers, inviting visitors without leading them straight into danger. Some pitchers become more than traps. Their fluid can host bacteria, larvae, mites, and small organisms adapted to living inside the pitcher world. What began as a leaf can become a miniature ecosystem, with nutrients moving through a tiny community held in a plant-made pool. The biggest misconception is that carnivorous plants are aggressive monsters. In reality, they are slow-rooted survivors. They do not hunt because they are cruel. They hunt because their habitats force them to solve a mineral problem that ordinary roots cannot solve alone. Those habitats are fragile. Wetlands can be drained, bogs can be damaged, and rare species can disappear when collectors remove plants from the wild. Carnivorous plants are often tied to very specific conditions, so destroying the habitat can mean losing the entire local population. Protecting carnivorous plants means protecting the strange places that made them possible: acidic bogs, wet savannas, forest seeps, and clear shallow waters. These places may look empty or harsh, but they hold evolutionary experiments that took millions of years to refine. Nature did not give plants legs. It did not give them eyes or jaws. But in poor soil, evolution turned leaves into springs, cups, glue, suction chambers, and one-way passages. Carnivorous plants prove that survival can transform even a leaf into a trap.